Hey, I'm Scotty T from Your Comedy Minute. Today's a real treat. I've got Nancy Levine with me. Nancy, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. What can I say? You could
Well,
always complain, but who the hell wants to listen?
like you said, it's a beautiful day.
Yep.
You're in New Jersey, is that right?
I'm actually in Orange County, New York. It's about half an hour from Mawa or Ramsey.
Okay, I'm familiar with it. And I guess the reason I thought because on your Facebook page you have the Housewives of Secaucus.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that New Jersey, Secaucus, New Jersey?
Yeah, the play takes place in Secaucus, New Jersey.
Okay, all right. But so
Or as the locals pronounce it, Secaucus.
Okay, so you're in New York. Were you born and raised in New York?
No, I was born in Brooklyn, but
Okay,
I grew up in New Jersey.
okay. Well, I have so much stuff written.
Central New Jersey.
I have so much stuff written down because it started, you've been doing comedy for how long, Nancy?
10 years stand up. Yeah.
10 years stand up. But before that, you taught or you I guess you taught at Rutgers or took a class at Rutgers, is that right? Or went to Rutgers?
I went to Rutgers. I was in their acting program
Right.
and I got a BFA in acting which does not prepare you for the real world or get you a good job, but I managed to get a few good jobs anyway.
Right. Well, and at some point, I guess now again, I don't know because your stand-up bits, at one point you talked about being a substitute teacher.
Mhm.
Was that true?
Oh yeah, yeah. In fact, unfortunately, I am still substitute teaching. I'm not going to say where because I have to protect myself and my
Right.
job. Because right now I still need it.
You do a funny bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to
Well, I
tell
get
them?
I get a lot of material from the kids.
Oh, I'll bet. I had a teacher on that said one of her favorite comedy minutes is one of the girls said that she vibrates when she sees a little boy. She said she didn't really know how to react. Well, let's talk about because
Okay.
I have a couple things here. The Laugh Out Loud Productions. I have some stuff written down. Do you want to tell the people about that?
Yeah, sure. It's my company that I've had since 2009.
Right,
I had gotten laid off from a bank I was working at doing community relations, and I remember my boss brought me into her office, and she was very serious, and she was like, "We have to lay you off." I don't know if you remember, but there was a bad recession in
right,
2009 and the first department to go was always community relations,
right.
and I tried to keep a straight face, and then I went to my car, sat in my car, and I was like, yes, I was like so excited. I was like, because I hated the job, and then that's when I started Laugh Out Loud Productions.
And what I love about it, it says interactive comedy show, interactive theater comedy show.
Mm-hmm. Well, we used to do a lot of we had a show called Ira and Isabella's Jewish Italian Wedding,
I saw that.
and the audience really felt like they were at a wedding. And
Right,
Ira and Isabella get married. Ira is obviously the Jewish one, and Isabella
right,
is the
right,
Italian one. And then all the antics that ensue at the
right,
wedding. It's a great show.
right. Well, that's what I think is neat that you're involving the audience, intertwined with the show.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Right. And when you were talking about the job, I don't think you know this. I doubt it. I actually got fired from my job for telling jokes. That's how your comedy minute started. No, it's true. But I want.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. And you have good material when HR calls you in. Right? Speaking of, and I got to tell you this just because before I do these, obviously, I like to watch and see as much material as I can from that person so that I can kind of have an idea of what you're about. Again, I like to do these one off. We've never met, but I saw, and I gotta tell you, I literally spit out some coffee laughing when you were talking about the housing boom and you were trying to sell real estate. See? Do you remember? Do you know the line that sent me? Do you know the line that sent me, Nancy?
That's like, yeah, that's like selling weed at a Snoop Dogg concert and not selling one joint.
Bingo, bingo. I said to myself, I love this woman. The analogy, that analogy is so perfect. It is so if you can't sell a joint at a Snoop Dogg concert, you really should think about a new gig.
You should check your pulse.
Yeah, right. Well, I know I'm bouncing around and I apologize, but so you've been doing stand up for 10 years. What made you decide to start doing stand up?
Well, I actually, it's a long story, but I'm gonna make it quick. I
That's all right.
actually
We got we
started
got we got plenty of
comedy.
time. We got plenty of time. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I started comedy in the 1980s with Jim Gaffigan. He used to go to Mike's with me. Um,
Wow.
the black guy, I forgot his name, who became famous. Can I be more vague? I don't think so. Um, um, but anyway, long story short, I was doing a mic at Pips in Brooklyn. I don't know if you've ever heard of the
No.
place. And Andrew Dice Clay showed up.
Oh, the Dice Man.
Um,
Love the
and
Dice
he,
Man.
the Dice Man, and he went up, and of course, he killed.
Right.
And then I had to follow him. So, of course, I bombed. And that was when I was really dirty, too. And I still bombed. And, Pips loved the dirty stuff. Then I left comedy for like 20, 25 years, raised a family, had some
Okay.
normal jobs,
Right.
and just went back to it 10 years ago.
Okay. And let
Yeah.
me ask you, did that first encounter there, did that, affect you keep going at that point, or did you just, it just felt right to go back to, 10 years ago?
I just missed it, and my kids were grown, and I
Okay.
was like, what the hell? I
Right.
wasn't getting a lot of acting work, and that's how I first got into it back in the 80s.
Okay.
Like in between acting gigs, I would do stand up. That's how it
Right.
started. But I always loved comedy since the time I was a little girl when
Yeah.
I was watching the Carol Burnett show
Yeah. You know,
and laughing. I'm really dating myself.
well, no, no, no. I want you to know I don't know if you know him because Tom Padovano, have you ever heard of Tom?
Yeah.
Tom was on the show and I called him a comedy legend and he was like, "Why?" And I said, "Well, my God, you wrote jokes for Phyllis Diller. You sold. He sold jokes to Phyllis Diller. He sold jokes to
Wow.
Joan Rivers. He sold jokes to Rodney Dangerfield." And then I asked him, I said,
Really? Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know that.
I actually met Rodney Dangerfield. And he said he didn't, but
Really?
he met Joan Rivers. And uh I said to him, "Well, how was that?" And he said, she come up to me and she said, "What the hell are you doing here? Why aren't you home writing me some more jokes?" I thought I thought that was great. But you say about Carol Burnett, you're not dating yourself. I'm up there. I grew up on Archie Bunker, and I grew up on Archie Bunker,
Yeah,
and
me too.
yeah, Archie was my hero.
Back when political correctness did not exist.
No, no, Archie went after everybody. Well, Jesus,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
listen there, meathead. You come from a long line of bowling teams. Yeah, I loved Archie. Well, now the next thing I have written down here, and but well, let's just because I'm bouncing around, and it's only because you're making me nervous. You're such a huge comedy. I'll call you a comedy legend too, because you mentioned Jim Gaffigan. My God, you don't get bigger than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I booked him for a show back in the 80s. It was about a year after I graduated from college.
Yeah.
And I remember I was running a room in New Brunswick, New Jersey, and I was talking to him at a table. And I always had a good eye for talent. I knew
Yeah.
that. Oh, Jeff Ross, he was another one that was around when I
Yeah.
did it
I know
the
Jeff
first
Ross.
time.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Ross.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Still around. But so 10 years ago, you got back into stand up, and how was that first gig?
I'm embarrassed to say I really don't remember. Oh, actually, it was at a temple. Yeah, it was at my temple,
Okay.
and I actually won the funniest Jewish comedian in Orange County, but it was a joke because it was only me and one other comic that went up for the contest, and he sucked. So it was just like,
Guilty by association. No, that's funny. But so now, 10 years in now, do you feel like it's like natural to you now? Do you have a set, let's say 10-minute set or 20-minute set of material that you have, all ready that you already have prepared?
yeah, I have about 30 to 40 minutes of material. I
Yeah.
should have more, but I find it harder this time around. I just don't feel like I'm the flavor of the day. I'm older, I'm
Yeah.
white. It's
Yeah.
very I don't want to seem politically incorrect, but it just seems like, let me put it this way, I'm not the flavor of the day. So I feel
Well,
like I have to be that much better to get a break.
well, Nancy, what I'm finding is, and you can chime in here, it's almost like there's two different breeds now. There's the stand-up comics, and then you have your TikTok, Instagram, YouTube video where they do pranks and they make skits and and
Mhm.
I'll be honest, I go with you. I grew up with Rodney Dangerfield and Henny Youngman and Dice Man and stand-up comedy, and I love
Mhm.
one-liners, I love jokes. And as far as I don't these TikTok things and stuff, it just doesn't do anything for me.
Okay. I enjoy looking at TikTok every night before I go to bed. I sound like a crazy person. I'm just like lying in bed by myself cracking up, with my
No, a
cats.
lot of people say
Literally a
that.
crazy cat lady. I have 3 cats.
Well, you're all right. You're all right. My buddy has a 3-cat rule. Do you know my buddy does construction and he has a 3-cat rule. If you have more than
What is
three,
it?
if you have more than 3 cats, he won't do the job. That's true.
But 3 is okay.
Three's
Okay.
okay. He would come and work for you. But no, let's move on. Like I said, it's just interesting to me because I've been doing so many of these, and I meet comedians that are like, I have a guy that's got a 20-minute thing coming up, and he said, I don't have anything done yet. He hasn't even worked on, he has maybe 10 minutes in the can, but after 10 years, you've got a good solid 30, 40 minutes of stuff, that you can lean back on.
Mhm.
And what
Yeah.
Well, I did one yesterday with a young lady that said in New York you're lucky to get 10 minutes.
Yeah, New York doesn't really get. Where are you out of?
Oh my God. Well, I'm originally from my mother and my dad's testicles. That's where I'm from.
No, I mean, you know what I mean.
Really? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Nancy. Right now, I'm not getting enough oxygen. Uh, I'm from York. I'm from York, Pennsylvania, where the men are men and the sheep are scared.
As they should be.
That's true. I do a whole bit about that.
Yeah.
In other words, no, I'm serious. And you said about being politically correct. And I don't want to offend you, but I don't think I can because I watch some of your videos. I tell people, I don't care if you're straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, asexual. I don't give a shit. I come from York, PA. They screw sheep here. There's a man screwed a sheep. So, I took a long way to tell you that I'm from York, Pennsylvania.
I have a newfound disrespect for you.
Hey, let's just stop the
The whole
recording now.
screwing of the sheep thing just took me over the edge.
My work is done. My work is done. We can stop the recording now. I've lost her. I've lost her already. Come on now, give me a second chance.
How long have you been doing this comedy minute thing?
Like I said, literally 4.5 years ago, I worked in the music business my whole life. Kind of like you have a
Oh,
backstory. Okay, I worked with all kinds of big stars, you name it. I've been with all kinds of people. From Henry Mancini to, God, you name an artist, I've been with them. And
were you a producer?
well, I did everything from promotion, sales. I started off as a field marketing rep in Philadelphia. That's why I know New Jersey so
Oh,
well. I used to go all through, but I mean, we work Whitney Houston, you name an artist, like I said. But so then I kind of came back and started, back here to Pennsylvania. My parents passed away. And by the way, I'm supposed to be talking about you, not me.
ah,
Anyway,
sorry
long
about
story
that.
short, I took a job at Lowe's because I thought it would be fun to work over the summer at Lowe's. And I ended up staying for like 4.5 years, and then I got fired for telling jokes. And so for the
Oh
last four
man.
and a half years, I started your comedy minute, and it's been 4.5 years of hell. A living hell, Nancy, a living hell. I wake up every day and decide if I'm going to slip my wrists or not.
Yeah, me too. But I don't want to stain the carpet. If I'm
Oh,
gonna do it,
Nancy.
it's gonna be on linoleum.
Yeah, I hesitate to say this. Let's move on before I say it because you already made you mad once. Ladies Room Comedy Festival and the Rhino Comedy. Talk about those two things.
The Ladies Room Comedy Festival started um in November of 20. So
Okay.
we were still coming out of the pandemic,
Right.
and it was at the Broadway Comedy Club. People came to it wearing masks.
Right.
No. It was 21. It was
Okay.
21.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing our fourth.
Right.
We're entering the fourth year, and the reason I started it is because I went to some festivals myself. I went to the World Series of Comedy. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Yes.
Um, and I was like, I could do this.
Right.
And because I also have a background in special events and fundraising.
Yeah. Right.
So I was like, this will be a great combo. I could use my skills of special events
Right.
and comedy, but it'll just be for women
Right.
because, as you know, women have it a lot harder in comedy than men. It's still a boys' game.
Nancy, I
And
want to stop you. I want to stop you right there because
so,
I'm
yeah,
telling you the truth. If I could have nothing but female comedians on, I would do it. I want to just have female comedians. So this is an open call to anyone watching it. And if you know someone, anyone, I want to have female comedians on because I feel
cool.
bad. There's so many male comedians that are just crap.
I know.
Women are just as funny as men. As a matter of fact, my favorite boss in the world, and this is the irony, her name was Nancy Levin, and she was a woman, obviously.
Really?
Yep, Nancy Levin, best boss I ever had.
Wow.
She was
Really?
president. She was head of promotion at Red Ant Records. Nancy really, and that's like I said, I just feel like I interact better with women too.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say to that, but cool.
Well, it's from my heart.
I
So
don't use the word. No, no, no. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. So it's been fun. And this year, this coming November 9th and 10th, it's going to be a comedy in Harlem in New York City. And we're going to have Carol Montgomery as the headliner.
okay,
And she's the founder of Funny Women of a Certain Age.
okay.
So I'm very excited about
And
that.
this is the Ladies Room Comedy Festival because I saw
Correct.
you're accepting tapes now or for for people to sign up.
Yeah, I've already started the promotion of it. It's all over Facebook on the different comedy group
Right.
sites.
And I will,
Yeah.
Nancy, just so you know, when this airs, it'll probably be about 2 weeks from now. I will put all the links to your Facebook, Instagram. I think you have a YouTube channel. I saw. I don't know if you're on TikTok, but I will put all those links and I'll help you
Yeah.
promote everything I can do to help.
Oh, you're a doll. Thank you so much.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not.
not very
No.
good at social media. My following sucks.
Well, I'll see what I can do to help you there, Nancy, because I have nothing but the utmost admiration for you.
Oh, thanks.
10 years, 10 years, 10 years of doing comedy. It takes a special breed.
Yeah, that and a lot of drinking.
I was just gonna say my liver's starting to twitch right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went and got a fresh bottle of Seagram's VO today for the occasion. I've got 3 of these today. You're my first one. I got 2 more after this.
Oh, really? Wow.
Well, I don't know if you know it. I put that post in Facebook, and it's just been going crazy. Almost,
I bet.
I shouldn't say I regret doing it, but it's been nonstop for like 2 weeks now. 50,
That's great.
50, 75 people, that are probably I have 50 waiting that want to come on that it's like, look, I'm getting to as many as I can as quick as I can.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I screwed up
That's fantastic.
that's how I screwed up the schedule with you. It's all my
Yeah.
fault.
Okay.
I still feel
Yeah,
terrible.
no, it was no big deal. I have
Well,
a flexible schedule.
well, let's talk because, and again, I apologize if this is not relevant anymore, but I just write stuff down. Rhino comedy, what was that about, or what is that about?
Oh, that's one of the clubs that I perform at.
Okay,
It's a great little club in Suffern, New York.
okay.
Um, and has a really cute little atmosphere, and it's I highly recommend it. Rhino Comedy Club.
Well, that's what I want to make sure, Nancy, that we cover everything that you want to talk about. Besides, obviously the ladies room comedy festival, upcoming gigs you got,
Mm-hmm.
or anything that you want to mention. I'd really like it if you took, a few minutes and tell people anything you want to tell
Oh. Um. mm, well, I have an upcoming gig at what's the Tommy's Basement in Bergenfield on Friday, April 19th.
them. Okay.
Um, and then I have another gig coming up in May, but I forgot the date. So never
Well,
mind.
no, we'll put it up. Well, let me ask you this, and we'll get, I don't want to keep you much longer. Do you have some famous or favorite bits that you want to do real quick? A couple of your favorite bits.
Oh, from my comedy? Oh, I thought you were going to ask me what favorite bits I like
Oh, no, no,
that
no.
I
We'll
that
finish with that. We'll
inspired
finish.
me.
We'll finish with that with your comedy minute. But in other words, like the Snoop Dogg bit, man, you had me howling at that.
Um, oh, I don't know. I feel put on the spot now.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Why don't we just go to the comedy the favorite thing that inspired me?
Okay, hey, you're in charge. I'm going to shut up. I'm not saying anything else. I quit.
Um uh yeah, so what inspired me to do comedy was when I was a little girl, I was watching um excuse me, my allergies and my throat is
I
drying
can
up.
I can tell.
The Carol Burnett show.
Right?
The bit with Gone with the Wind
I
when
remember it.
Rhett is coming over to visit and she's like, Rhett's coming, Rhett's coming. I have nothing to wear. Watch it. Missy, what should I wear? Miss Scarlet, I ain't never birthed no baby before. And she runs over and she takes the curtains off the window, and Carol Burnett puts it on, and you could see the curtain rods across her shoulders, and she's like walking down the stairs, and she's like, I have arrived, where's Red? And it was just so outrageous and so funny. That
You,
was that was one of my favorite bits.
and I got
And
to
then
tell
I'd
you,
have to say,
no,
yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I was just going to say
No, no, no.
you did a fantastic impression, and just to you so you know, I remember that bit.
It was a great bit.
Tim Conway,
And then,
and who was the other guy? I can't remember his name. Harvey Korman.
oh,
Harvey Korman, is that right?
Harvey Korman. Yeah.
Boy, I used
Yeah.
to love that show. Tim Conway used to crack me up something fierce.
Yeah. They would crack up with each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that they couldn't.
And then,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say another favorite comedy bit was from a movie. I think it was Bridesmaids, where I think it was one of the bridesmaids had to take a dump, something fierce, or it may have been the bride herself. And she runs into the bathroom. She hoists up her dress and she just lets out this huge fart. And then she took a dump in the sink. And that to me, one person might say, well, that's just gross.
No,
But that to me is great comedy.
I
Because
agree.
great comedy is when you take a situation and you magnify it and emphasize it and just make it so big and larger than life that it's just outrageous.
Yeah.
Hence the Carol Burnett Gone with the Wind sketch.
Right.
It's just to take a moment and just make it explode is great comedy, I
Yeah.
think.
Well, you have impeccable timing. Are you familiar with a
Oh,
comedian named
thanks.
are you familiar with a comedian named Kathy Ladman?
Yes, I know the name, but I haven't seen her in years.
She was on the Tonight Show and she was on Curb Your Enthusiasm. And Kathy gave me some great advice. Her mother had passed away and we were talking online. And she told me, Scott, just be true to who you are. And, you just wrapped it up real good with that story about the girl taking the dump in the sink. No, Nancy, I'm being sincere because, that you find funny and you pull from that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like me. I tell people, and I make no bones about it, I laugh at the wrong shit.
Oh, speaking of laughing at the wrong shit, well, well, it wasn't kind of, it was a tragic episode that happened to
I
me
love it.
personally. No, you're not going to laugh.
You're laughing. You're
I
making me
had
laugh
had,
already. See.
I can't believe I'm
Now,
bringing this
now
up,
let's just
oh my
time out for a
God.
second. I just told you I laugh at the wrong shit. So now you're going to tell me
Okay,
a
so you're going to
story.
love this then.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a tragic incident that happened like 21 years ago. I was pregnant, and unfortunately the baby died. It was a stillbirth. It was 38 weeks. It was a cord accident. It was awful. But I had to deliver the baby. It died in utero. We found out there was like no heartbeat because it was a cord accident. Um, and so I had to birth this baby, and it was at Holy Name Hospital in Teaneck, New Jersey, and there was a cross on the wall across from my bed. And for some reason, I took off my bra and I just went like this and I threw it at the cross and it landed on the cross. And then I had to give birth to this baby, but I had to be sacrilegious at first. I had to find some comedy in this tragic episode.
Thank God you drug that out. Thank God because there was no, hey, I say I laugh at the wrong shit, but there ain't no way I'm laughing at an aborted baby. There ain't no.
Well,
I do. We're gonna stop here in a
it
minute, but
was awful.
I do
Awful.
another bit about I don't do any kind of Jewish jokes. I don't do any kind of LGBTQRSTUVW jokes. I don't do I don't do this kind of joke. I don't do Holocaust jokes, but I love a good rape joke.
Oh God.
No, it's a joke. There are no rape jokes. I've never done a rape joke. It's just a bit. It's just a bit I do.
That
I'm
is funny.
sorry. Maybe we better stop, huh?
Yeah.
Well, look, I don't want to keep you any longer. I truly, and I'm going to be serious, I am truly grateful that you came on my show. I couldn't be happier about that. And if there's
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
no, it's my pleasure. And again, why don't we plan on if you enjoyed yourself and stuff, I'll check back in with you. And we're on Facebook together. Just anything I can do to help you with social media, I'll do my part.
Well, thank you so much, Scott, and have a blast with the rest of your interviews.
Well, just hang in there for a second. I'm going to stop the recording because
Sure.
if it's okay, I'd like to talk to you for a minute or two off the record. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Hang in there a second. Thank you again, Nancy. It's been a real pleasure.
Oh, thank you, Scott.
Okay. Hang in there.